So what happens when a criminal empire decides to go to war with an entire country? Well, today we're going to break down one day of absolute terror, a coordinated attack that brought a huge part of Mexico to its knees. And it all started with one single event, way up in the mountains. All right, so let's just dive right in. We're not going to start at the beginning, no. We're going to drop you right into the middle of the chaos. Picture this. It's about 11:40 in the morning at the Guadalajara International Airport. It's one of the busiest in Mexico, right? People are everywhere, checking bags, grabbing coffee, just living their lives. And then, in an instant, everything just changes.
It all starts with this one whisper, they're inside. And that little phrase just spreads like wildfire, way faster than any official could ever get on a loudspeaker. The panic is immediate. I mean, can you even imagine it? Hundreds of people just sprinting through the check-in hall. They're dropping everything. Suitcases, carry-ons, you name it. Kids are crying, people are desperately trying to hide behind ticket counters, pillars, anything they can find, trying to figure out what is even happening.
And right when that panic inside is at a fever pitch, the threat becomes terrifyingly real. Everyone looks out those huge terminal windows, the ones that face the tarmac. And what do they see? Thick black smoke just pouring into the sky. This isn't a rumor anymore. Whatever's happening, it's real, it's outside, and it is on fire. And the scale of this thing, wow, it's just staggering. This is not some random act of violence, not at all. You've got guys setting private jets on fire, a fuel truck is ablaze, and then you hear it, gunfire, coming from a service road. Airport police are scrambling, trying to take cover. And get this, a convoy of cartel SUVs, fully armed, is trying to breach the perimeter. This is a full-blown, military-grade assault on an international airport. And you know what? It works. Their plan, their immediate goal, they nail it. Air traffic control grounds every single flight. Any plane coming in gets diverted. But here's the really scary part. They've blocked all the roads leading to and from the airport with burning barricades. So for the thousands of people stuck inside, that's it. The airport is now an island. They are completely and totally cut off. So that brings us to the big question, right? An attack this big, this precise, this doesn't just happen out of nowhere. This is a reaction. This is payback for something. So what could possibly trigger a citywide assault like this? Well, to figure that out, we've got to rewind the clock by just a few hours. The spark that lit this whole city on fire, it wasn't even in the city. It was way out, deep in the mountains of Jalisco. It all started with an early morning raid by special forces, and they were going after one of the most powerful and dangerous men on the planet. So here's the play-by-play. Mexican special forces swarm this fortified ranch. A massive firefight kicks off. I'm talking automatic weapons, grenades, the whole deal. And their target? Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. He gets hit, and he gets hit bad. They try to fly him out, but he dies from his injuries on the way. Just like that, the world's most wanted drug lord is gone. So, the government took out the king, but his kingdom, well, it was about to strike back with a speed and a fury that honestly, nobody saw coming. Think about this for a second. 90 minutes, that's it, just an hour and a half after their leader dies in some remote mountain raid, his entire organization launches a massive, perfectly coordinated counterattack across the whole state. The sheer efficiency of it is, well, it's staggering, and frankly, it's terrifying. And the first weapon they pull out of their playbook is something called a narco bloqueo. And let me tell you, it is brutally effective. The idea is simple. You hijack a bunch of big vehicles, like tractor trailers and city buses, you set them on fire, and you use the flaming wreckage to block major roads. But see, it's not just about stopping traffic. It is pure psychological warfare. It screams power, it creates instant chaos, and that fear spreads way faster than any of the flames. And they were so strategic about it. They didn't just block a random road. No, they weren't for the jugular. They targeted all the major arteries of the region. The main highway to Guadalajara, the big toll road to the coast, all the key bypasses. They systematically choked off the entire area. One by one, the lifelines were just cut. Okay, so once the region's arteries were completely severed, phase 2 began. The violence wasn't just on the highways anymore. It was spilling over right into the streets of Guadalajara and all the cities around it. And the attacks were designed to create maximum fear. I mean, listen to this. You had armored trucks with mounted guns just rolling through industrial zones. You had hit squads targeting police checkpoints. They were torching city buses right in the middle of everything. They even set a gas station on fire. The goal was simple, and it was horrifying. Make it absolutely clear that nowhere and no one was safe. Look, none of this was random. Every single burning truck, every bullet that was fired, it was all part of one single brutal message. And they weren't being subtle about it either. They made damn sure everyone knew what the message was. They hung these huge banners from highway overpasses, spray-painted messages on walls, all saying the same basic thing. The CJNG is not finished. We are here and we are avenging our leader. And what about the government's response to all this? Well, it was pretty much radio silence. They put out a short statement confirming Mencho was dead, but that was it. No reassurance for the people, no timeline for when things might get back to normal. It created this huge power vacuum, and the only thing filling that void was the cartel's chaos. So what's the result of all this? You've got a massive, modern city completely paralyzed. The airport is still closed, the highways are impassable, businesses have just shuttered their doors. You have an entire city of millions of people basically under siege, just holding its breath, wondering what in the world is going to happen next. The sun goes down, but this crisis is far, far from over. As night falls on the city, the only real light comes from the glow of fires still burning on the horizon. Each one is like a little beacon of the cartel's power and its absolute defiance. So the day ends with this really chilling reality. Sure, the government's operation succeeded, they got their guy, but it leaves us with this huge, unsettling question. What happens now? What happens when the criminal empire this guy built can react with this much devastating force? It really makes you wonder, what happens when you kill the king, but you leave the kingdom completely intact?